Hello, Quesnel. Welcome to QToday. I'm Allison Duddy.
And I'm Mitch Vick, and this is our show for February 22nd.
First, we want to thank Friesen Mediation Services for their sponsorship of our program over the last couple of weeks. And our top stories from the Observer: West Fraser rated in top 10 companies across Canada, and the Lions Club is one step closer to making affordable seniors housing a reality.
Fantastic. And coming up later in the show, another segment of Susan McNeil's Stop, Shop, and Save in Quesnel, as well as Nate in conversation with Ruby Dirksen.
Very good. Okay, so here at QToday, we bring you the recent news provided by our partnership with the Quesnel Cariboo Observer, combined with a bit of our own commentary. And we also bring you our own stories from the community. Remember, we do just give the highlights here at QToday. If you want to get all the details, pick up your copy of the Quesnel Cariboo Observer. Now, over to Mitch here for the news.
Thanks, Allison.
You bet.
As she mentioned, West Fraser has landed the title of one of British Columbia's and Canada's top employers. And they say, to be recognized is special, but it's the people who work hard every day in this company that truly make West Fraser a great place to work. And that was said by West Fraser Chairman and CEO Hank Ketchum. Some of the reasons why the company was selected as a top employer for 2013 are encouraging an ownership culture with a share purchase plan option, which is available to all employees, managing an academic scholarship program for children of employees who are pursuing post-secondary education, and supporting employees who are new mothers with maternity leave top-up payments and extended health benefits coverage during their leave.
That's fantastic.
That's
one
pretty
of the top
good
10 in
recognition.
Canada. I mean, that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
So
well,
good for them.
good for West Fraser. That's great news for them and for our communities.
For sure.
Good stuff.
All right, February is Heart Month, and the Heart and Stroke Foundation is taking the opportunity to reach Canadians to raise awareness on the risks of heart disease. Now, according to their website, in Canada, heart disease and stroke takes one life every 7 seconds. That's amazing. And 90% of Canadians have at least one risk factor. Now, risk factors include smoking, alcohol consumption, physical inactivity, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. As the leading cause of hospitalization, heart disease and stroke poses a heavy burden to taxpayers. As for strokes, it's important for Canadians to familiarize themselves with warning signs to be able to seek treatment as soon as possible. These warning signs of stroke include weakness, trouble speaking, vision problems, headaches, and dizziness. I feel like that all the time. No, just kidding. Quick reaction to symptoms is key to treating a stroke, since hospitals are only allowed to administer a clot-busting drug within a few hours after symptoms begin. If you'd like more information or to donate to the Heart and Stroke Foundation, visit www.heartandstroke.bc.ca.
I'm thinking there's a couple of those symptoms that I have to be aware of myself.
90% of Canadians have at least one risk factor. That's really scary, actually.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. 3 of BC's independent MLAs recently announced a collaborative agenda for democratic reform. Vicky Huntington of Delta South, Bob Simpson of Cariboo North, and John Van Dogen of Abbotsford South have agreed to what some are calling the first plank in the Independent Party's platform. Simpson said, "People want MLAs to represent their constituents, not special interests." Huntington gave a rationale for working together. "Our shared experiences in the legislature have taught us all one thing. Centralization of power is not healthy." Van Dogen agreed, saying, "We want to present simple reforms that are supportable for all MLAs. Among the improvements the 3 MLAs will be pushing for is to move spring election days to the fall. In addition, they want to update election finance rules and ban corporate and union donations." That's sounding like we may have another, maybe political party isn't the right term at this stage, but they're working together.
The step towards it, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, very
We'll
interesting.
see how that proceeds, but it begs the question, if part of their platform is to be independent and not be beholden to party line and whatnot, then why would they want to pursue such a close relationship?
Exactly.
Well, let's hopefully they can walk that line carefully then.
You bet, of course. Well, seniors in Quesnel will now have a new option for affordable housing, and very soon if things go Peter Nielsen's way. The Lions Club has made great progress in their seniors affordable housing project, having recently purchased the land and received certification as a society. Now, even though the project is in its very early stages, the Lions Club is already seeing that it's very much needed in our community. We've had people calling daily trying to get onto a list that we don't even have yet, Nielsen said. The next step in making this housing project a reality is actually designing the building. And although no promises can be made, Nielsen said the Lions Club is going to try to get everything produced locally and use local services for the project, which is estimated between $2 and $5 million. The hope is that the community will step up and help with the project wherever possible. It says the Lions are looking after it, but it's a community project, Nielsen said. And as we said, they're very much needed in our community, so it's great to see somebody jumping on that.
Yep, I can tell you absolutely, Peter's right. We're approached daily with people wanting to go on a waiting list to get one of these seniors apartments. And,
yeah. So how are things going with that, Mitch? I know that you're a Lion, and I know, I mean, with the multi-center fundraising efforts going on, do you think it's going to be difficult to get people on board with this, or?
Well, I think with our project, that people really see there's a real need. And we actually did a survey before we actually embarked on this.
Right, I remember.
So we had a lot of input from the community. So we think there is going to be lots of support for that. But of course, we're going to be looking for funds from the community as well as from grants in all sorts of areas. So it's going to be a long road, but we're committed to it.
Yeah. I think Nielsen said in the interview he's hoping, in the next 2 years to actually have this up and running.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I think if we can get some preliminary work done with architecture and engineering and business plan by the spring, I think that's a real realistic goal for sure.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, I hope it works out, and we will keep you posted here at QToday.
Yeah. Well, next I have a few local events coming up to tell you about. First, the Gold Pan Grannies are gearing up for their 3rd annual Scrabble tournament on February 24th in the St. John's Community Hall, with the doors opening at 1 p.m. The cost is $20 to play, which can be paid at the door, but they prefer you pre-register by calling Olive Walsh at 747-3547. Next, we have the Quesnel Live Arts presents Cadence, Canada's premier vocal group, February 27th at 7:30 p.m. in the Chuck Mobley Theatre. Tickets are $25 each, $20 for seniors and students, and they are available at Bo Peep Boutique, Quesnel Music, Save On Foods, Attitude South Salon, and at the door. For information, you can contact Colleen at 747-2207 or visit www.qla.ca. And lastly, we have the Pacific Salmon Foundation, and they're holding their 7th annual gala dinner, dance, and auction on Saturday, March 2nd at the Senior Center. Tickets are $45 each at the door, and that opens at 5:30. Tickets for this event are available at Frank Supermarket, Green Tree Health, Health and Wellness, the Quesnel Caribou Observer, and Darcy's Glass.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mitch. And now moving on to sports. In Super League Curling, the regular season ended with a 3-way tie to see who would get the last 2 spots in the A division. Now, A&W, Willis Harper, and Frank's Supermarket duked it out, with Frank's coming just short of the requirements to join the top teams in the championship round. Now, after sneaking into the top round there, A&W took on the Child Development Center, and they pulled out the win 8-4. Willis Harper had an equally positive experience on the A side, beating the Billy Barker 8-5. And in the 3rd A side game, Investors Group took down Douglas Lake Equipment 9-7. And moving on to the B side, Sky High Scaffolding beat Jar Transportation 8-3, and Frank's doubled Karen's Health Foods 10-5. Sounds like some exciting curling.
It is. That's it's coming down to the wire
People
there.
think curling is a boring game. It's not. It's
No.
very strategic, and I find it very exciting. But I'm a little biased since I play.
That's all right. Okay, so Ringette. The under 19A Quesnel North Stars participated in the Kelowna Sweetheart Tournament recently, taking gold for their third straight tournament win. 9 teams from Edmonton, Calgary, and the Lower Mainland were divided into 3 pools. The first game saw Quesnel defeat the Calgary Rogue 9-2. In their second game against the Delta Fusion, the girls pulled out with the win 4-2. And then Sherwood Park handed them their first loss of the season, 7-4, in their third game and their fourth game, getting a little tight for them there. A must-win to continue on to the semifinals saw the team victorious, beating the Fraser Valley 6-2. The semifinal against Beauview out of Calgary is one of the best games of the season for the girls, pulling out the win 3-1. And then the final game saw the girls get redemption against the Sherwood Park team that had given them so much trouble.
You bet.
And of course, they took them out 8-5. So
Yay.
very exciting. Another win for our Ringette crew there, 19A. Good
That's
job, guys.
Awesome. You bet.
Yeah.
A lot of good athletes in this little town.
We
For as
do
small
amazing.
of a community that we have, I think we do pretty good
Yeah.
at these big events.
Yeah,
so
we've mentioned it many times
You bet.
for the size of our community. We're out there representing
That's
for sure.
right.
Yeah.
You bet. Okay, well, we want to thank Scott Elliott for his great coverage of the Roos games this season. It was a really good season for the Roos. A lot of fans thought this might be the year for the Koi Cup, but unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. Jonas Gagnon wrote the wrap-up and did a great job of sharing the angst. Last Saturday, the Roos kept their foot in the door after an electric win, but lost on Sunday, putting them out of the playoffs. Coach Brian Kozak was philosophic, saying, "The Stampeders are a playoff team. The team has played years together, and so they played a smart game." We've got some clips here. They're from Saturday's game, where the Roos came back from a 2-0 deficit after the first period. In the second period, the Roos Gagnon, Kaluzny, and Whalen picked up 3 goals over 10 minutes and put the Roos ahead, but then Williams Lake had 3 in a row and led 6-4 after 40 minutes. The Roos tied it up in the third period and then went ahead on Furster's goal. And of course, Williams Lake came back with Sanga scoring in the last minute. Went to overtime, the Roos gave their everything, and Nick Tomasetti found the puck meandering through the crease and into the net for the victory. Unfortunately, Williams Lake enjoyed their defeat by starting a fight. Why not? Gagnon also described the final game, but suffice it to say, Williams Lake took the game quite handily despite the crowd's hope for a comeback. So Williams Lake now plays for the Koi Cup in Kitimat, and despite the loss, the coaches were very happy with the Roos' progress over the year. Kozak said, "We're proud of our guys," and the team actually is going to play in a selection of teams in Kitimat in a few weeks during the Koi Cup festivities. So look forward to that. Way to go, Kangaroos, for a great season, and thanks again to Scott Elliott for all the great coverage of those games.
Yeah. I'd say we're making progress, though, eh?
Oh, I definitely think so.
Making improvements every year. That's what we can ask for. And
That's right.
Next year, maybe.
You never know. Next year could be the year.
That's right.
We hope.
We hope.
That's right.
Well, Susan McNeil's spot on home-based businesses in Quesnel has been warmly received. Next up, we have another installment of Stop, Shop, and Save in Quesnel. And this time, Susan speaks with Glenn McLeod, a great contributor to Quesnel's community events, and he owns Odds and Glens Collectibles. So let's take a look.
Welcome, Quesnel, to another one of our home-based business segments. We have today here with us Glenn McLeod from Odds and Glens Collectibles. So Glenn, welcome aboard. We're glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. This is great.
And you know, for those who don't know Glenn and know what he does, he has this amazing collection of not just hockey paraphernalia, but you have many, many other collectibles, Glenn. So would you like to sort of elaborate on what all you collect?
Anything and everything. Coins. I love antiques. My father-in-law got me started on wood planes, so I've got a great starting collection on them, on old wood planes, bottles. It's just evolved out of collecting, And the way I got started with
Yes.
it is a friend of mine owns a skate shop, and as a thank you, I took him up some autographed photographs. And he looked at me and he goes, "Do you have any more of these?" And I go, "Oh yeah, I got lots." He goes,
Oh.
"Bring them up." He says, "We can sell them." And bang, it just started going, and people have been very supportive
Okay.
of it, and it's been great. Like I've just been having a blast with it because I get to do all this shopping and finding stuff that I'd never thought I'd ever find, but
And
it's
I-
out there.
And I thought I'd never hear a man say, "I like shopping." So, but this is a different kind of shopping, Quinnell, and we're very fortunate to have Glenn here. He donates to many of the good causes and the social events that we have here in town, and he did recently the Quinnell Winter Carnival with a beautiful jersey. So we would like to thank you for that too. Tell us how long you've been doing this.
It's been about 3 years. I've been collecting my whole life.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I started this business about 3 years now, and just slowly.
Okay.
Like it hasn't really evolved. I started with the Legion's Trade Fair
Okay, okay.
a couple of years back, and that went well. And then I've hit a few hockey tournaments and stuff like that. We put up a booth at the arena, of course, and we've had fairly good success at the hockey tournaments. Just because of the hockey memorabilia, and jerseys and that go well, of course.
Well, they do, and so of course we see this fabulous jersey here. How did you come to acquire this one from?
I got that one probably, it was last summer. But just recently I was down at a trade show in Richmond at the Richmond Ice Oval, and Guy Lafleur was there signing, so I got to meet him and talk to him for a bit. Just a wonderful man and
Oh my
very humble, and I asked him, I said, "How's it going?" He goes, "Oh, my arm's sore." He says, it's really sore from signing. I said, "Well, think of that as a good thing. Look how many fans you got." And he goes,
Yeah.
"That's a very good way of putting it. Thank you." So,
Awesome.
but he was really great to meet.
Good show. So I see you have a set of Wayne Gretzky signed hockey gloves.
Yes, they were from his Ranger years,
Yes?
and I acquired them through an auction. And the gentleman I got them through, he couldn't really say they were game worn, but they have the indications they were.
Okay.
And I have the letters of authenticity, sorry, and PSNA is one of the top authenticators.
Okay.
And that's usually who I try and deal with
Okay.
to make sure the stuff is authentic.
So it says what it says
yeah.
it is. Oh, awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about the photo that you have here as well?
Oh, that's Ed Johnson. He played for the Bruins way back. He was their goalie before Cheevers. And then when Cheevers come in, he kind of took the backup role.
Okay.
But it was just such a great shot, and with the old equipment and that, I just
So it's almost like it's antique equipment now,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Exactly,
Or
yeah.
antiquated.
yeah.
So could you tell our viewing audience where we can get in touch with you?
I'm a home-based business. My phone number is 250-992-8926. I don't have any website or anything, but I can get contacted through email, and it's jeep22@shaw.ca, and it's all small letters.
Okay. Good.
And we just enjoy doing this. My wife, she likes it as much as I do, of course.
So you have a shopping partner?
Oh, yeah. She's always
Very
helping
good.
me out. And
Good. So we can find you in and around town. Lots of times we can find you at the hockey arena.
yeah, I'm
And you go to other various events, local events here in
local
town.
events.
and take your
One of
winners.
the things I found is donating to charities and that through silent auctions. And a lot of people are coming up and saying, "Hey, can I get something for a silent
Oh,
auction
yes,
so I can
yes.
donate it?" So,
Okay.
there is that angle too. Like
Well, the nice thing about the Home-Based Business Connection book, which is where I actually found you, in the book along with all the others that we're doing tapings on, gives us a broader perspective of what's available in Quinnell, because not everybody knows that we're here in Quinnell. So We really thank you very much, Glenn, for coming on board, and we thank you for all the volunteerism you do provide for and all the donations that you provide for Quesnel. So it's been a joy to have you here, and if you'd like to come back and visit us again, we'd love to have you. So
Great, I got some more great stuff. I just got a Bobby Orr signed stick in.
oh my
So,
goodness, okay.
It's very cool.
Very cool. Well, that's it for this segment this week, Quesnel. Thanks for joining us.
All right, Nate had a chance recently, as Mitch here mentioned earlier, to sit down with Ruby Dirksen, and Ruby Dirksen is a member of the Quesnel Toastmasters Club. They spoke about the organization, what happens at meetings, what Toastmasters can do for you. So let's check out Nate in conversation with Ruby Dirksen.
Okay, thanks, guys. I'm here with Ruby Dirksen. Hi, Ruby.
Hi.
And you are with the Quesnel Toastmasters.
That's right.
That's right. And you enjoy the Quesnel Toastmasters.
I love Quesnel Toastmasters. Yeah, I've been there 8 years, actually. Just
8 years, just mouthing away. And no Oz, right? No Oz? Do you count your Oz? Okay.
they are counted.
You know-
Ahs and ums are counted all the time.
Well, Jian Ghomeshi and Barack Obama both do Oz right on national radio and television. So,
Almost
I mean,
everybody does.
yes. And you know what? They used to count my Oz and really get it. I used to be a member of Toastmasters.
That's great.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. But you're representing Toastmasters, and I see from your name tag there, you've got a few letters there.
A few, yeah. I
Yeah.
have I'm an advanced communicator silver, which
Right.
silver, that's 30 speeches, and a advanced leader bronze. So there's also a leadership track to Toastmasters. It's not just about communication, but it's also about leadership. So there's really 2 tracks that they're working on. So yeah, have some of each.
Okay, so and also it looks like you're district governor or
Yeah, the
area governor. Yes.
There are 2 clubs in Quesnel, actually, and a club in Williams Lake, and that is our area. So I kind of help to look after those 3 clubs for a year. It's a year term that you do.
Oh,
and I got to
great.
go do some training. They sent us to Vancouver a couple times to get some extra training on how to do that. So yeah, it's great.
Good. That's good. So what is Toastmasters?
What is Toastmasters? Well, Toastmasters has always been known as a communication organization. It's all about communication, but it's also now more and more about leadership as well. It's the 2 things that they want to promote. And it is a world organization. There are clubs in basically every country of the world, I don't know if everyone,
Wow.
but thousands and thousands of clubs, and people all over the world are learning to communicate better because of Toastmasters. So it really is a great worldwide organization.
And the goal of Toastmasters then is to help people communicate with each other.
Yeah, communicate and become leaders. They're really concerned that that people become leaders in their communities and where they are. So both, and you know, you really need communication to be a good leader. That really is fundamental to all of our life, whether in personal relationships or places of work, or if we want to be leaders, you need to be able to communicate well. It really is a vital skill.
Yes, we can't just get all emotional. We have to be able to step back and think, how can I get my message across?
Yeah, it's true. You got to
Yeah.
know what you want to say and how to say it so people will listen.
Right,
Totally.
right. So you have a meeting once a week. The Quesnel Toastmasters does. What happens at these meetings? People just get in there and start talking.
Sort of. No, it is a very organized club. So we do meet for 2 hours, and there's so many elements that are part of a Toastmasters club. The main thing, the important thing, well, it's all important, but is the prepared speech. So typically they're 5 to 7 minute speeches. They're prepared ahead of time and presented, and there's a manual to help you through. Sort of each stage in Toastmasters is 10 speeches. So, and each speech talks about a different thing. One is about vocal variety, maybe one is about how to use your gestures. And so it's sort of a self-learning program that you pick the topic, but it helps you work on something each time so that you get all areas of communication you get to work on. And we always have evaluators. If there's a speech, there's an evaluator. And we do that. We learn to do that. So we tell people what they're doing right?
Okay.
And then we also help what they could improve on. And it really is a confidence builder. You learn what you're doing right and learn to build on that and get better at it. So we have speeches and we have, of course, table topics we call it, which is unprepared speeches. So you just get asked a question and you need to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on it. And really the reason we do that is life doesn't come scripted. You get asked things no matter where you are, and you need to be able to, you want to come across confident and intelligent, so it's good to learn that kind of thing.
So people come a lot of people come because of their job or something, that they have to speak in their job, or do they just come for personal reasons?
Actually, we do have some of both. Some people because of their job, some personal reasons, some maybe they need to speak. There's a wedding coming up and they have to make a speech.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they have some reason that they want to get some preparation ahead of time. And oh, I wanted to finish up a bit about what else.
Oh,
We have
yeah.
a timer, we have a joke, an inspiration, we have a quiz. So really the whole night is full and everybody's interactive and basically everybody gets a chance to speak, and it really is a great night.
Great. Well, I just want to tell you that I really did benefit from Toastmasters. I was a Toastmaster in 92, 93, so around that time. We used to meet in the forestry building at that time. There were a lot of foresters that were in at that time.
I bet.
So we went there and I did my 10 speeches, and my last speech was why I wanted to get to be elected to city council.
And it worked.
And it
Yay!
worked. So Toastmasters worked.
It worked.
Yeah. So,
great.
and are you looking forward to being a city councilor one day? No. Okay. And what do you do when you're not Toastmasters?
Well, I have a
president?
daycare in my home. I've been doing that for 12 years here in town. So
Oh,
it's-
okay.
yeah, I enjoy
You
it.
like kids too?
It's great. I like kids.
And do
yeah.
they pick up table topics too?
Sometimes they listen to me prepare speeches.
Okay. So how has Toastmasters helped you then? How was it?
Well, I really think it's helped me in many ways. I actually started Toastmasters in a real low time in my life, and I wanted something new. I'd already been always been interested in public speaking, and so Toastmasters was something that I tried. And you know, one of the things Toastmasters really does is build confidence in people. You just see people change. They come in, and as they learn really what they can do, that confidence grows, and they hold themselves higher. And I know it really helped me that way. I learned so many things, and I learned to speak better, of course. But also, Toastmasters, you meet people from all walks of life.
Oh, yeah.
Like there are people in Quesnel, so many that I would have never met any other way.
Also,
And yet-
friendship building.
Friendship building, and all ages, all cultures, all, like I say, people I wouldn't have met any other way. And I just feel like my life is so much richer because of the people I met there. And you get to hear their stories, right? They're making speeches. You find out about their holidays, their interests.
Right.
So you really get to
Right.
know them.
Yeah.
I especially think if someone's new in a town, go find a
Yeah.
Toastmasters club. Like
Yeah.
you'll get to know people. It's
Right.
really, really great. So.
Well, we have a Toastmaster that's part of QMAG too, Allison Duddy, as you
Yes,
know.
I know
Allison.
Allison.
I
She's
think she
awesome.
is a very good speaker.
She is.
And I'll get up there and blubber away, but she's very clear, very moving along, getting her message along. So I mean, she's another example of somebody who succeeded, and I know she's hearing this now. So she's done a great job, and we really appreciate her at QMAG and QToday. Okay, so. In the end, of course, membership is something important.
Yeah.
And so where will people find out more about Toastmasters if they're interested? And when are the meetings and such?
Well, you can check our website. We have Quesnel Toastmasters. You can find that online. But we meet Wednesdays at the community college, so from 7 to 9. So you just come. We have signs. It's upstairs. Anytime, come and visit us. We'd love to have anyone, anytime, come and just join in and see what we're about. So the best way is to come for a couple of meetings and find out what we're about. And there is a membership. There's a membership fee, and you get all, if you want to join, you get all your materials and a mentor, someone to help you along to get going.
Oh, okay.
So it's a really
Is there a phone number or?
Sure, you can use my phone number. It's 250-747-1180. So
Okay.
definitely call me. I would love to.
You're
tell
Vice
you about
President
Toastmasters.
for Education.
Of education, all right.
Great.
We all take turns. That's the thing about the leadership part. You one year you might be the president or the vice president of education. You might be the secretary. We all like take turns and learn how to be leaders. In fact, we all take turns leading the meeting. Like it's really great that way that you learn to do everything.
Well, I'm getting very excited just listening
you're
about
gonna
it.
come back, I bet, right? We'll see you like tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, you never know. Thank you very much for being with me today, Ruby.
pleasure.
And hopefully maybe we'll have some other Toastmasters, maybe have some snippets from the speeches or something like that.
That would be great. Love to share that with you. Thanks very much.
very much. Okay, back to you, Toastmaster Allison and Mitch.
Well, that's it for this show. We want to hear from you with your story and your comments on our show. How do you think we're doing? Whatever you think is important, we definitely think is important here at Q Today. So email us at qtoday@qcatv.ca. with your story or ask us to cover a story that you know the community would just love to hear more about.
Absolutely. And also, we'd just like to thank the Friesen Mediation Services for sponsoring our show here at Q Today for the last couple of weeks.
You bet. And remember,
Q Today is about
Quinnell talking to Quinnell. Bye for now.